What happens when your son gets assigned everything his dad avoids? It all started getting really ridiculous the day my son turned 14. That was when my husband officially upgraded his responsibilities by transferring them. At first, it was small things. If I asked him, "Can you bring me water?" he'd nod, stand up slowly, and then suddenly stop halfway like he remembered something very important. Then he'd turn toward Jake and say, "Hey, you're younger, go bring it." Jake would just stare at him like, this cannot be real life. And honestly, it kept happening. If I said, "We need groceries," my husband would immediately get serious, take out his phone, and say, "Jake, write it down." If I said, "The trash is full," he'd already be looking at Jake like, "You heard your mom." Jake started calling it instant delegation mode. At first, Jake tried to argue, "Why am I the automatic employee of the house?" But my husband would calmly respond, "You're 14. This is training." Training for what? Nobody knew. The chaos peaked one evening when I said, "Someone please bring me my phone charger." My husband didn't even look up. He just pointed at Jake like a manager assigning tasks and said, "Go." Jake slowly turned his head and said, "Bro, I was born in this house. I didn't apply for a job." But my husband didn't flinch. He just replied, "Responsibility builds character." That sentence became his favorite excuse for everything. If I asked for tea, "Jake, make it." If I asked to clean the table, "Jake, help your mom." If I asked where the remote was, "Jake, you saw it last." Jake started complaining to me daily. "Mom, I think Dad thinks I'm his assistant, your assistant, and the entire household staff combined." My husband acted like he was doing team management, not avoiding work. One day, Jake decided to test him. He came into the room and said, "Dad, Mom said she needs help carrying heavy bags from the store." Without hesitation, my husband nodded and said, "Good, go help her." Jake blinked. "No, I mean you help her." My husband looked genuinely confused. "Why would I do that when you're available?" Jake turned to me like he was begging for backup. But before I could speak, my husband added, "Also, you're younger. You recover faster." That was the moment Jake stopped arguing and started writing notes again in his little notebook. Later that night, Jake came to me and said very seriously, "Mom, I think I figured it out." "What?" I asked. He said, "Dad has removed himself from the household workflow entirely and replaced himself with me." And right on cue, from the other room, my husband called out casually, "Jake, can you bring me water too?" Jake just closed his eyes and whispered, "I've become the main character's assistant in my own house."